This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
Rooker, it's a 5 on a deep center. Robert going back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Adolis Garcia sends one the other way. That sends Carroll back. He's at the wall. And the legend grows. Ronald Acuna, another milestone in a truly historic season.
Julio with an absolute nuke out to left field.
It's Glaber Day. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe. From humidors to Stuff Plus to walk-off dingers, we have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, I'll tell you the first thing that I see when I put on the tape is I see the versatility in the player. The fact that he can play on the inside, on the outside, he has that kind of physicality that you can't teach. When you think about the upper body strength and mix that with the foot speed, this is the type of player that's going to be great for this defense. Whether we want to play a 3-4 or a 4-4 front, this is a guy that I think is going to be in the National Football League for many years to come. He's a high-character guy. I talked to his coaches. He's the first guy there. He's the last guy to leave. And that is the NFL draft.
He's a road grader, grinder, high motor.
Everybody got better last night. All 32 teams got better. We got better. We're all hugging in the war room.
What are the cliches? Really like his skill set. Good thrower of the football. Good receiver of the football.
He can spin it.
Yeah.
What a route runner. He can run every route on the route tree.
He can do whatever he's a coach's player. He does whatever the coach asks.
Yeah, we all got better last night.
He's family first.
I do love the Raiders pick. Bowers, the big tight end. I mean, you got back-to-back years. You got the best tight end in the NFL in the NFL draft. And now that's just going Bill Parcells to Bill Belichick, the way to build a football team. They love tight ends. Tight ends are versatile. Who'd the Niners pick? I was on the air during that time.
They took a receiver from Florida. What was his name?
Did the Niners get better last night? Because they're looking to trade receivers.
That's what they're saying. Ricky Pearsall.
That guy, I remember seeing him a little bit. Florida Gators.
Yeah, formerly with the Arizona State Sun Devils, played there with Brandon Ayuk.
There you go.
Who the Niners are looking
Did they get better? Did you get better last night?
I think the Bears feel like they got better getting Caleb Williams. Steelers got a lineman.
Wait. Whoa.
Someone got a
whoa on that.
Someone's got a block for Justin
You
Fields.
told me the Bears got better with Mitchell Trubisky out of North Carolina. What was that, 17 or 18?
17.
That was 17. And then you told me, well, old Mitchie didn't work, old Mitchie ball game. So we're going to take that super athletic kid, Justin Fields out of Ohio State. What was that, 21, 22?
Yes, 21.
So every few years you're getting better with a new quarterback that you drafted?
Yeah, because now both those guys ironically went on to play for the Steelers. So
name me the last time the Chicago Bears had a legit quarterback.
Jim McMahon.
Oh, wait.
Jim McMahon.
Not Jim Tomczak?
Mike Tomczak.
Mike Tomczak out of?
Wisconsin.
The Ohio State University. Yeah, the Bears haven't
Eric Kramer.
Don't go Rex Grossman. Another Gator. Not buying it. Hey, NFL draft, I was watching it while I was doing the show. Everybody hugs the commish. Everybody got better. Congratulations to all those young men, because truly their dreams came true last night. And their lives are changed forever. And hopefully all of them are smart. They do well by their money. They take care of their bodies. They're smart off the field. And hopefully they all stay healthy and have long, long careers. Because it is a great opportunity to play professional sports and to play in the National Football League. You're not going to be there for a long time. So take advantage of every single moment that you are there. And oh, yeah, I can't help it. My guy Harbaugh goes with the offensive tackle. Everybody's going quarterback. He's got a quarterback. Everybody's going skilled guys. He went got his Joe Staley.
Yeah, I mean,
Got to have that big left tackle.
Someone's got to block for Justin Herbert.
The big left tackle will be there for 12 years. You get a good left tackle, the guy will be there for, what do you got?
Oh, no, I'm just looking at some cliches for the draft since we're still trading up was worth it to get our guy.
Well, he was your number one guy on the board.
Yeah, I mean, he's the missing piece. That's another one.
It's a lot of players. You got one guy's the missing piece.
If he hits, it'll all be worth it. Well, what if he doesn't?
Then you're doomed and you all get fired.
We had extra picks.
Wait, how do you have extra pick? Well, if you traded, got a bunch of picks.
We only gave up future picks.
Future doesn't matter. All right, Ace fans, here we go. Right? This is a test.
Speaking of draft.
Yeah, speaking of a team that knows how to draft, we'll go through the Orioles because, yeah, you could say the Orioles have drafted a lot of their players and that it's Mike Elias, but they've got guys on their team that they drafted with the last regime who are on their team. They have utilized their draft, and it's impressive. And for the A's, you're going to hear Mark Kotsay, who I can't even bring up my email. So who do we have today?
We'll have Cole Irvin today.
Cole Irvin.
Our good friend from the Orioles at
Our
1:30.
buddy.
Mark Kotsay, 2:30. And we got maybe the hottest hitting player in the minor leagues right now. Hitting 423 at AA. That'd be Jacob Wilson.
You mean we have a player in the minor leagues that can actually hit this on a consistent basis?
Yes, he's hitting 423.
No matter how fast it's going or how much it's spinning, he can hit it. Like, he goes up there and puts the barrel on the ball on a consistent basis. We have a player like that.
Yeah, he was also our first-round pick last year, Jacob Wilson, Grand Canyon University.
I'm excited about that. That's a good get.
So he'll be on at 3 o'clock from Midland. Midland's having a good year so far, by the way. They're the best team in the minor league system right now.
If you watched us at spring training, that's why it's so – I want people to watch the show and always understand that there are certain questions, there are certain topics that we're going over that you got to see the forest through the trees, right? Do you remember when I asked Jacob Wilson, hey, are you sizing all these guys up right now? He laughed. But I was serious. Are you sizing all these guys up? Because I don't have a body of work of anybody right now who's a middle infielder, or I should say shortstop, that you can hang your hat on. I don't have a body of work for Nick Allen. I don't have a body of work for Hernandez. I don't have a body of work for Max Muncy 2.0. That you're like, no doubt that guy. Just don't. We're hoping. And I said, hey, are you eyeing these guys right now? Because Jacob Wilson, which I still can't believe Vince Cotroneo said to me the other day in my fifth inning hit, well, he's just out of college, Chris. I mean, I was down to spring training. I did the Dodger game with Johnny at Camelback Mountain. Who was playing shortstop?
Jacob Wilson.
Who hit in that game?
Jacob Wilson.
Are the Dodgers a big league team?
Yeah.
That's not college. And then what was the other game that I did that he played in? I think I did the game against the Guardians at Goodyear. Jacob Wilson was playing. Are the Guardians a big league team?
Don't they have the best record in baseball right now? So, yes.
I mean, you could say, well, they're not playing all their guys. He was playing in this game where the A's had A's uniforms on, Guardians and Dodgers had their uniforms on. This is spring training, and he hit. He hit every time. Every game I saw Jacob Wilson play in spring training, he hit. That wasn't Grand Canyon. That wasn't the minor leagues. That was in spring training. He has taken his time at spring training, and he's gone to AA, and he continues to hit. If you can hit, it doesn't matter what level you go to. If you're a legit guy. I watched a thing yesterday. Pete Rose, 4,256 hits. There's not a human being on the planet that has ever had more base hits in Major League Baseball than Pete Rose. And Pete Rose said it's easier to hit in the big leagues. And the guy interviewing him went, what? It's on Instagram right now. And he goes, you know everybody. He goes, the guys that give you fits are the guys you have no idea because everybody's different. Everybody's fastball is different. Their breaking balls are different. And if you don't know them, he goes, listen, I faced Nolan Ryan and Fergie Jenkins and Bob Gibson. He started throwing all these Hall of Fame pitchers out. And Pete Rose goes, I saw these guys for years. Bob Gibson never changed. Bob Gibson's the same guy year after year after year. He's great, but I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting. Steve Carlton, Tom Seaver. I mean, Pete Rose is just rifling off these pitchers. He goes, I know exactly what they throw, and I know how they're going to try and get me out. And it's just who's going to win on that night. He goes, but you bring in somebody I don't know, because every breaking ball is different. Does he throw a really sharp 12-6 curveball, or is it more of a slurvy curveball? Now we talk about the sweeper. If you've never seen a guy, you can watch the video, but you get up there and you don't know. Is the fastball a dead straight? Is it a two-seamer breaking away from you? If you're Pete Rose and it's a right-handed pitch, I mean, he doesn't know until he sees you. But he goes hitting in the big leagues, you see a lot of the same guys over and over again, so you know. So, hey, if Jacob Wilson hits, why do you think that all of a sudden he's going to come up and he's not going to hit where pitchers have more control? I mean, you can hit.
There's a really good example of that from last year's draft.
Because I've got numbers of guys on our team right now who are flat out not hitting. And you can say, well, Jacob Wilson is just out of college. Okay.
So is Wyatt Langford.
How's that working?
So is Nolan Shaunawell.
Shaunawell and Neto. And this is not. Basically, some teams have said, I'm tired of throwing guys in this AAA ridiculous world because it's just ridiculous, right? The ballparks, the weather, it's just, you can't really evaluate. The hitters aren't that good and the pitchers aren't that bad. It's tough to evaluate. Skybolt, and I hate to always use him, I just love the name, but Skybolt was Mickey Mantle in Las Vegas.
Fact, he was.
He was Mickey Mantle. He was incredible. Skybolt came up here, great kid, right? He was a nice guy, loved interviewing him, couldn't play. Put him in Vegas, he's an all-star. But it's impressive. So I'm happy to have Jacob on again. It'll be fun to talk to him. He's got a good personality. He is the future. And I brought it up. People went, well, what about Max Muncy? I don't know about Max Muncy. Max Muncy's been around. He's a high school guy, but he's not a high school kid anymore. He's grown up, but there's not a bot. I mean, I'm not looking at, even in Vegas right now, he's not even hitting 300. I mean, you don't hit 300 in Vegas.
I don't think do we have anyone on the team hitting 300 in Vegas?
I mean, if you can't put up numbers in Vegas, I mean, it's just the start of the year, but I'm already seeing, we knew Jacob Wilson coming out of the draft has an elite bat-to-ball contact skill that we highly lack, and I got some numbers on that. So we'll talk some Jacob Wilson. We'll have him on the show today. Do we know what time?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. Appointment listening. He is the future. Whether you want to believe it or not, he is the future. The future is now with Mason Miller. So last night, as I told you, when you go over to Secaucus, New Jersey, to the studios of MLB Network, and they have you on, it is big for you. Vince Cotroneo and I talked about it after the game because everybody watches it in baseball. The average person doesn't watch it because we know they don't get good ratings. But we know us baseball nerds in our baseball bubble, all we do is watch MLB Network. You go into my house right now, what's on?
MLB Network.
MLB Network. At night, when I'm outside, my outside TV, MLB Network. And I told you, when you go on and you do MLB Central, their morning show, and you do the breakdown with Mark DeRosa, they will take that and constantly play it over and over and over and over again. You get a lot of mileage out of that in the baseball world. So last night, did my exercising after the post-game show, kind of playing for a push because I lit up a cigar and I'm sitting out back and I'm watching Quick Pitch, and it's the highlight show, and they go Yankees A's, and then they go guess who stopped by the studios today? Let's rehash from this morning. And it's D-Row, Cliff Floyd, and Mason Miller talking about his mechanics. So he was on the morning show, and they repurposed the content at night. So all these clubhouses in baseball, the coaches, the managers, the front offices, and all the players who watch MLB Network, everybody who was watching MLB Network yesterday got to see Mason Miller. Everybody in the game got to see Mason Miller. Everybody's been hearing about the Kraken. Release the Kraken. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean reference. You ever watch those with Johnny Depp?
I have, yes, actually.
They were fabulous.
Great ride at Disneyland, too.
Well, the original.
Yeah. Just it takes forever to get on, but line's usually long. But
it's very sad of what happened with Johnny Depp and his ex-wife and that court thing, because that basically killed the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Those movies are great. My kids loved them. We watched them together. It's done. But the Kraken, you release the Kraken, and it comes up and it destroys all the ships. It's a sea monster.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not talking about the Seattle Kraken, the hockey team.
No, I'm not talking about those hacks. Are they any good?
They're not in the playoffs this year.
All right. The Kraken. You bring in the Kraken, it's death. It's over. It's absolutely that's what Mason Miller is. I thought Mason Miller got a little slider happy yesterday. I think Mason Miller wanted to show everybody, well, I can throw a slider too. Whatever. 6 for 6 in saves, 22 Ks, 10 1/3 innings. He will blow a save, folks. That's going to happen. He will blow multiple saves. That's going to happen. But what we're seeing is something special. I'm happy for the kid. I think he's an inspiration to so many kids who are type 1 diabetics. And it's something that it's very heavy because you're a child and you realize you're a type 1 diabetic. And for the parents, for the family, for the child, because this is something that, you have for the rest of your life. And for someone like Mason Miller, this is where we talk about a player using your platform for something beyond just playing baseball, making money, and taking care of your own family. Mason Miller, the better he gets, a la Liam Hendricks. Liam Hendricks has a heart of gold, but Liam Hendricks not getting anybody out, it's not going to do much. Liam Hendricks becoming an all-star closer now has a real platform to go help people. We are seeing that, the potential of that, with Mason Miller. So Mason Miller just performed greatly on the biggest stage, Yankee Stadium, blowing away Yankees, blowing away Juan Soto.
He didn't look like he was having professional bats when he was going up against Mason Miller.
Oh, wow. Your guy Juan Soto, your Ted Williams.
He can't handle high
Blew
velocity.
him away.
I do got a question for you about Mason Miller. What are we in, 26 games into the season?
Wait, hold on. I'll tell you right now.
Right, 10 and 16, so 26 games in.
I can look into the book. I write it down every day. Yesterday was game 26. Today will be game 27.
Is it already confirmed Mason Miller is the A's All-Star?
No. I got Paulie Ground Ball on the phone.
Okay.
I got JP Sears on the phone. We got a long way to go.
See,
Got a long way to go. You want to call up Searsy and tell Searsy the way he's throwing the ball, he's not in contention?
I think Paulie Pizza is on there too.
Paulie Pizza, Paulie Ground Ball, Paulie Win Day, Paulie Punch Out, Paulie. How many nicknames does Paul Blackburn have?
We kind of.
Jeez.
The perfect record's gone on Paulie Win Day, so maybe Paulie Ground Ball, Paulie Pizza we'll stick with, but for now, Mason Miller, MLB Network, people know who he is.
Mason Miller's the leader in the clubhouse.
Okay,
if this is a golf tournament, Mason Miller went out in the first round and shot like a 65. He's your leader. We got a long way to go till July.
And he's our guy.
Who?
Mason Miller, he's our guy. I'm using a draft cliche. He's our guy. We drafted him. We developed
He's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
He's one of the good ones. We've done a lot of research on him.
Great. Comes from a good family.
He's got great size.
Yeah.
He knows how to use his size. What does that mean? What does that mean? Like, if you watch the NFL draft, they say something, you just go, what does that exactly mean? Like, we need like a glossary for like some of the statements they put out. He knows how to use his size.
Mason Miller wants to be great.
Does he? Has any guy ever drafted got, guys, I want to show up, make some money, be there for probably, about a year, and then I'm going to get out.
Yeah, I want to be mediocre.
Yeah. I want to not play. Put me on special teams. If a guy gets hurt, I'll come in and play. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable. It really is.
We'll work in more draft cliches as the show goes on.
I love draft. The draft's awesome. Everybody got better, man. 32 teams. Everybody's a winner. It's like going to Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. It's awesome.
Real quick before we go back to Mason Miller, yesterday was the first time since I think 2016 the Rams had a first-round draft pick. It's been 8 years since the Rams had a first-round pick.
Because they traded them all.
Remember,
away.
They traded up to get Goff, I'm pretty sure. And then
you mean the Lions quarterback?
Yeah, then they got rid of all of it, and then they just traded
How
away
bad
the
was the start of the draft when they brought out the Lion guys? It just was awkward. It was forced. It was like, this doesn't feel. It was just weird. It's hard. It's hard to the drafts become a big deal because we want to see the players, but the way they try and do all the pre stuff, it's very forced. It's bad. It's bad. Detroit didn't burn though, so that's good.
Bill Belichick, by the way, out very good on McAfee.
Oh my God, Nick Saban on ESPN. So I was flipping back and forth while watching the A's game. I got proof. I've got proof. So yes, as I was watching, I can do two things at once. I kept score for the game. I knew what was going on. But, I was flipping back and forth. NFL Network was kind of weak. ESPN, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick, obviously very good friends. Nick Saban was Bill Belichick's defensive coordinator in Cleveland years ago. They have been very, very tight for a long time. Both these guys now have the ability to keep raking in the cash. And they're just going to have to show up for special events. I don't know if Belichick's going to want to coach, but Saban officially is retired. I got to think Belichick's 70, right? Isn't he? Now when he's
70 or 75, I think.
75?
Isn't he? He's getting up there, right?
Because Saban's a little bit younger.
72. Belichick just turned 72.
So maybe doing this thing with McAfee, because Belichick, when he does want to have a personality, is really good. Just roll out Belichick. Don't put him on Fox or CBS where it's every single weekend. Just roll him out for special events, right? Super Bowl week coverage. Here's Bill Belichick.
I think with him,
Nick Saban. Nick Saban will be on the he'll be on the desk for the national championship game. For the not BCS games, but
wow.
I'm going old school now, huh? For the two games that lead up to the championship game, yes, Saban will be there. It's great, right? They're two of the greatest football coaches of all time. I don't need to see him every weekend, but I like seeing him win the big games there, because if you know about winning big games, Nick Saban and Bill Belichick know what it's like to win the big game. They know what it's like to lose the big game. They know what it's like to win the big game. They talk. I'm interested.
I think McAfee and Belichick were talking about doing something on Mondays during the season, but I think Belichick is doing the Manning cast, or he might be he might be on the Manning cast every once in a while. I don't know the full details, but
perfect. It's like Peyton Manning.
Manning together. Oh my God.
I don't need Peyton Manning all the time, but it's cool to have him enough where, he's Peyton Manning. He's greatness. These are great football minds. He's a football guy.
It's great how that's all going to work. You got Belichick, who Peyton Manning could never beat. And then you got Eli Manning, who Belichick could never beat. And now they're all going to be working together.
Peyton Manning beat
I know,
Belichick.
but most of the time Brady won those games.
Whoa. Now, Peyton Manning got his, especially Peyton Manning he got the last laugh. If you don't remember with the Denver Broncos.
Yes, they won the Super Bowl here.
And who'd they have to go through?
Well, in the AFC, yes, New England.
Yes, and that's famous where after the game, Peyton Manning goes up to Bill Belichick and says, "Hey, I just want to let you know this is probably my last rodeo."
Sheriff's riding out.
Yeah, sheriff's out. And they had a nice moment there as two of the great icons in the National Football League. Bill Belichick, we're talking a lot of football. Bill Belichick said this. Remember when they did the top 100 players?
Yeah.
And Belichick was a part of that in the NFL Network. He said, Peyton Manning is the only guy that you knew when you were playing his team, you were playing the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. That Peyton Manning was the offensive coordinator.
They just calling plays in the huddle.
That's when you know you're dealing with greatness. Like the old school guys, like Joe Namath in that famous Super Bowl, he called every play. Terry Bradshaw talks about all those Super Bowls, you Pittsburgh Steeler honk. Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls. He called every play in those 4 Super Bowls. And it's funny, like he talks about, you'd get your bell rung and you'd look up and you go, where's the first down line? And then he's got to call a play. I mean, no one was looking at what play are we calling. I mean, Terry Bradshaw called every play.
No one was holding their.
No.
We could talk draft because we're playing the Orioles and they're very good at drafting.
Oh, you're trying to bring it back?
That's how you tie it in.
So a lot of positivity, right? Yesterday's win was fantastic. It was a weird series. The umpires, the whole, it's just guys getting thrown out. More guys could have gotten thrown out. Weird calls.
Home runs going out that wouldn't be home runs anywhere else.
Yeah, but Nicky long ball, Tyler Nevin got on the board. I'm going to keep saying it. And when we have him on,
I'm requesting him
next
week.
I am a man of my word. I'm going to be like, bro, I'm sorry.
Oh, going full Johnny. Never go full Johnny.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
Bro. I'm sorry. Tyler Nevin deserves, he's in the lineup today.
Yeah.
He deserves to be in the lineup every day.
Tyler Nevin's in the lineup batting second and playing first base.
I don't love and I'm going to ask, you'll see, I'm going to ask Mark Kotsay, politely ask him about it. I do not love all these guys playing all over the place because they're not good enough to play all over the place. I don't care how many, 34 double plays turned this year? What are we on pace for? Like 200 and something double plays?
Yeah, didn't you get?
What's the record? Does anybody know the record for most double plays in a year turned?
I can maybe.
Is it in our game notes?
I feel like that'd be a note that they would put in there. Record.
I mean, that just seems like you play 162 games. You're on pace.
One side, the Philadelphia Athletics still hold the record.
Philadelphia Athletics.
217 and 19.
Come on,
49.
man. Really?
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of double plays.
And they were playing 154 games back then?
Yeah. 154. Yeah.
You turned 200. Let me see. What? You turned 217, right? Did they play 154 then? They weren't playing 162.
I mean, 1949 Athletics.
Yeah, they played 154 games back then.
Yes. Connie Mack leading the way at 81 to 73.
207. I don't know if that's good, though. What was their record?
81 to 73.
Yeah, I don't know if that's that great of a stat. Because that means you've got a lot of people on base.
Oh,
it's kind of a catch-22, right? It sounds great. Look at all the double plays we're turning. But it's like, well, why are you turning so many double plays?
All the guys on the team had an ERA, and their ERAs are 3.75, 3.86, 4, 5.
We would take every one of them. 3.75, 3.86.
Yeah.
We would take those ERAs. Who are you kidding? You know what I'm saying on that? Like, it sounds really cool and it's nifty. Like, hey, we lead the league in double plays. 34. We're on pace. We got to be on pace for like 250 or something like that.
I need to find that calculator.
We have more double plays turned than games played.
Yeah, I need to find that on pace calculator we were using last year for SD when we were doing that.
I mean, that's crazy. But that also means you got a lot of guys hanging out on base, which is not that great of a sign. But yesterday's win, I am so late. They got in late last night, part of the business, but I'm really looking forward to, hopefully they don't get. I mean, the Orioles just pounded the A's last year. They won 6 of 7 and scored 57 runs. Hopefully we're not going to see that, but this road trip is a road trip where you're kind of finding out who you are. You got beat up by the Guardians for 3. Now you're going to New York for 4. That could have been doom and gloom for the A's. That could have been like all right, we're taking on so much water we can't. No, they split. They have to be walking out of Yankee Stadium onto the plane heading to Baltimore with confidence. We can't hit, but we can pitch. We've got a puncher's chance every night because we can pitch. And that we're not the same team that just got their you-know-what handed to them last year. We're not that same team. We're better than that. And now you go to Baltimore, and even if it's a rough series in Baltimore, this was going to be, you're facing three of the best teams in baseball. How many people are going to, when you line up the schedules, you don't know how many teams are going to go and do a long East Coast road trip. Well, actually, only the West Coast teams can do that. But let's say a East Coast team coming out west, how many people are going to do a 10-game road trip where it's 10 games, right?
Yeah.
10-game road trip where all three teams you're playing are three of the best teams in baseball.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
This is a rarity. This road trip is a rarity. If you went through everybody's schedules and said, all right, three of the best teams in baseball, you're getting them. Bang, 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 three different series. How many teams are going to face that this year? Iron sharpens iron, Jim Harbaugh. This is a great test. Get one here, maybe two. You're feeling great about yourself. Because now you come back, no offense, A's can beat the Pirates. A's can beat the Marlins. You start gaining that confidence, right? This was a confidence builder. Going into New York, playing on the biggest stage. We've got guys going on. We had guys, they're going on Sirius XM. We're going over to MLB Network. I mean, we got it's one trip. It's a confidence builder. This trip was a confidence builder. Still 3 games to go. And now you size up against the Orioles are beatable, but they're 16-8. Obviously, I think they're the best team in the East. And I'm not going to be shocked if they're the team representing the American League in the World Series. It would be a phenomenal story. The turnaround, the buzz is back in the Inner Harbor. People are loving them. The Orioles, again, a great baseball city. Years ago, the Orioles were always a competitive, great team, great players, Hall of Famers, and it just kind of blew up. But they're back. And they're fun to watch. They got a ton of great young players. This is a good test for the A's once again. What do you got? Let's see what you got. And the A's do have a chance. Like last year, they had no chance. Now, they definitely got a chance.
I'm excited. I'm going to Camden Yards later this year.
Great ballpark.
Can't wait to see it. They're playing the Yankees, too. I don't really care to see the Yankees, but it's cool. I'm excited to see Camden Yards and see there's so many guys on this team that they have that, we were talking about it beforehand, how many guys that they have drafted and developed at their own and just their position players alone.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, Jackson Holliday was sent down to the minors today, but the guy they called up, another guy, Ryan McKenna, is a guy they drafted 8 years ago or 9 years ago now, but he's one of their guys. And they have so many guys in their lineup that they're give you good at bats, and they're really good. Gunnar Henderson might be the best hitter in baseball right now, like just the streak he's on. So
Gunnar Henderson in the last 10 games is hitting .450, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, 11 runs scored. Circle him in the lineup. He can't beat you. He's red hot. Now, there is always that belief that they did it because they were so bad and with the draft picks. And the reality is that's not true. It's helped, but Gunnar Henderson, A's could have had him. He was a second-round pick. Every team in baseball who had a first-round pick that year could have had Gunnar Henderson. We took Logan Davidson,
who was in AAA for us?
Who's an outfielder.
Who was a shortstop playing first, now outfield.
Everybody could have had this guy. And oh, by the way, since 2019, this is a pretty good sample size. Just to tell you, we've talked a little bit about it. I talked about it in the post game. College baseball technology-wise was ahead of Major League. Forget minor league baseball. College baseball was ahead of Major League Baseball. That's just fact. You had places, I mentioned it yesterday, you had places like Vanderbilt and Wake Forest and all these different schools that had their own pitching labs and hitting labs. They were working with their own hospitals, their schools' hospitals on stuff, on how to keep pitchers healthy and all this kind of stuff. Don't kid yourself. College baseball in certain areas is high tech. The Orioles have feasted off college players since 2019. And the top 3 rounds, they've only taken 2 high school guys. 2. The rest, all college guys. 17 position players and 3 pitchers. If we're now saying the model, these guys are way more built on the draft than the Astros ever were.
Yeah, because a lot of the Astros guys were international signings.
No, you got your
Bregman, yeah, Correa, about Tuve international signing. Their pitchers international.
And what's weird
signings.
is Correa is still Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah,
it's almost like he's an international guy, but he was drafted. Yeah,
yeah. And a lot of their guys, like Kyle Tucker is theirs, but like Yordan Alvarez is the guy they got in a trade for Josh
Dodgers.
Fields. Yeah. Michael Brantley was the guy they signed. Maldonado was the guy they signed. Like all the Verlander, all those guys are guys they traded.
Gurriel.
Yeah. Gurriel is the guy they signed internationally.
Yeah, but not drafted.
Yeah. They just were really good at doing the international.
Yeah, it's different. The Orioles, even though Mike Elias came from Houston, he was with Jeffrey Luhnow. Mike Elias, their drafting has been fantastic. Not first round. First round's been good, but they've done second, third. They've dominated. They have dominated. And they got guys on their roster that were drafted before Mike Elias got there. So they are a team that said, we are going to utilize people in our system. We've got players. We're going to train them. We're going to teach them, and they're going to come to the big leagues. That has been our mission. Not everybody's a first-round pick who was on their team. And we're going back like Mountcastle, who killed the A's last year. Mountcastle was drafted in 2015. That was a long time ago, right? I mean, they are utilizing their players. We've done the complete opposite. We constantly go get everybody else's players. Very rare. I mean, when's the last time we had an A's draft pick, position player, that was like, this is our guy? You go, Olsen and Chapman. Okay. They've got how many?
Yeah, they got a lot.
They got a lot. We got 2 guys.
If you look at just their team right now.
Sean Murphy, okay.
You look at their team right now, catcher Adley Rutschman, Mountcastle,
okay.
Westberg.
I'll give you 3 guys. I'll give you Olsen, I'll give you Chapman, I'll give you Murphy. Who else in the last 15 years? You drafted him, you raised him, you brought him up, he's your guy. I'll wait. We want to go through all the different years? Yeah. All the best players.
I mean, well, we went through this. There's only how many guys on the roster right now that are ours?
We haven't had a guy hit 300 since Josh Donaldson.
11 years ago.
By the way, who was
not ours.
Traded.
And the guy that did it before that, Rubio Durazo. Also not ours.
We haven't had a guy hit 300 since Josh Donaldson. And there's some numbers today. These 2 teams that we're looking at today are the most reliant on home runs. But obviously they score a lot of runs. The A's don't. And for a team that doesn't score a lot of runs, to be so reliant on home runs is a scary deal. Are we doing Cole here?
Yeah, real quick. Ray just told me, this Karate Kid Ray, we're on pace for 212 double plays.
212?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's cool, but not.
I'm going to ask, how many people do you think know the record for double plays? Or like, it's not a stat that people are like always tracking. You know what I mean? It's not like hits and RBIs and strikeouts and all that. So like, I actually kind of like that it's getting brought up a little bit more about how many double plays returning, because you don't hear them. So you're so used to hearing errors, stolen bases, things like that. So hearing
how many people alive right now on the planet, if you asked who has the record for most double plays, could say Philadelphia Athletics, 1949, 217.
I would say not many. Not many.
That is a small list. That is like you're at a sports bar, right? You're like sitting there going, I got a trivia question for you. Everybody's drunk. Who's turned the most double plays in a year? I know. The 1949 Philadelphia. And I bet half the bar would go, you're full as. I'd have no. I mean, how would you know that?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Unless like something like this happened. Like now people will know who watched this and listen to it. Like if you're listening, athletics.com/acecast, we love you. If you're watching on YouTube, we love you. Hit like and subscribe. We'll now all remember. I'll now know, but that's only because this came up. Like if you would have asked me 20 minutes ago, I don't.
Well, you know,
I wouldn't have said it was a team that played in a smaller schedule.
Yeah. Well, you remember,
right? When you say I'd have to, I would put my money on it. It's a team that competed in a 162 game schedule, not 154. So right off the bat, I would have never picked an old school team.
Will you remember 20 minutes from now that it was the A's?
Yeah. The Kansas City Athletics in 1960, what?
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's cool. So on pace for 212. We have Honey 34 right now. So, yeah.
I think it's a pitcher's best friend. Because, I mean, a double play, when you get a double play, it's like, thank God. Because you're in trouble. Runners on base is bad. You're in trouble. And you get you get 2 outs with 1 pitch. It's huge. That's why the triple play doesn't happen a lot. You get 3 outs with 1 pitch. That is like, that's why it doesn't really happen that much. But to get 2 outs with 1 pitch, it's like, think about what that saves you. Because clearly there are people on. Clearly danger could be happening. And if you don't get 2 outs with 1 pitch, that inning continues. That means as a pitcher, you're pitching more. That's more pitches. That means the offense has more opportunity. You basically squash a little bit of a campfire. Smokey the Bear, right? Don't leave a campfire until you can touch it.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
There you go. I mean, that's kind of, you got a little bit of a fire going on. Double play, whoosh, you put water on it, we go back to the dugout. If you don't get a double play, who knows? That can turn into a wildfire. And next thing you know, you're out of the game. Here comes relievers. Just a double play, it's like, and it is deflating for an offense, right? Because you're all jacked up. You're on the on-deck circle. All right, man, I got some RBIs out there. Let's go. Let's put up a crooked number. 1 pitch, you erase the good mojo. You erase the crooked number. And not always is it the inning done, but a lot of times the inning's done. Boom, 6-4-3, we're out of it. Let's go get some runs. It's huge. But it also tells you there's a lot of guys on base. That's not good. That's why it's a catch-22, right? Now you're getting the double plays. Is that going to happen? As they say, everything always equals out. Well, what happens when you stop getting the double plays and you still got all these dudes on base? That leads to runs. Percentages show more runners you get on, better odds you got of scoring a lot of runs. So love the double plays. Who knows? Maybe they continue it. I don't know. I've never seen this many double plays this early in a season.
Maybe that number increases and the
I mean, they're what a Karate Kid said. They're at 212.
We're on pace for 212. Yeah,
and the record's 217. We're only 5 double plays away when we think of if we ended at this from the record. So we're on an incredible pace. Does it mean your defense is better than you think? I'm going to say no, because we butcher way too many balls.
That happened last night.
Yeah, Nick Allen has got my guy Nick's got and like Hernandez's play. That's a tough play. You got to make tough plays. That's why I don't love moving all these guys around, right? Tyler Nevin's playing third, then he's playing right, then he's playing first. Is Tyler Nevin good enough to play all those positions? Who's good, right? Max Schumann can play it. Max Schumann can sell hot dogs. He'd be in the West Side Club serving beers. No, he can't. He's not. I don't buy that anybody's great at every position. Jose Oquendo played every position for it was the Cardinals, I believe. He played in one game. He played every position. I know Bert Campaneris did it. I don't know if the team was in Oakland or in Kansas City at the time, but I know Bert Campaneris played every position in one game.
The last guy to do it was in 2017. I think it was Austin Romine did it for Detroit. That was the last guy to play in all.
It's pretty cool, but also means you're you know where that game's going.
Either you're blowing someone out or you're getting blown out. You're not doing it in a 2-1 game.
We got to get over the lineup because there's an interesting thing about the lineup today. It's not going to be your normal, there's a right-hander on the mound lineup, and there is a reason why, by the way. I will tell you that reason. But let's get to our guy, Cole Irvin. Cole Irvin he came over from Philadelphia for cash. It's another great example of why when you can criticize every front office, every front office has good moves, bad moves, but it's another one of those where you look at our front office and you tip your cap, right? They liked Cole for a long time out of Oregon. David Force saw the opportunity to get him. It was for cash. It was a great pickup, and he was terrific for the A's. And he was really good to us with A's Cast. I mean, here he is again. He's no longer one of ours, and he's still coming on, and he loves coming on A's Cast Live. That's kind of, now that we've been around a while, we've built a good reputation with a lot of people, whether they've worked for the A's, haven't worked for the A's. We're very lucky with that. We've got a good relationship with a lot of people in Major League Baseball, and it's just continuing to grow every single year. But he's one of our all-time favorites. Here is Baltimore Oriole left-hander Cole Irvin. Oh, it is great to see you. How is life treating you?
Oh, it's good, Chris. I'm happy to be back with you guys.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been a lot of fun to just watch your ball club grow from afar. I mean, showing up every day, there's a ton of talent. I mean, what's it like being around in this clubhouse with all these young guys?
It's contagious. It kind of gave me similar feelings to our 21 season in Oakland. Just guys that truly love playing for each other, that care about each other, and just play hard and don't ask questions about how hard they're playing. It's awesome. You come to the ballpark every night expecting to win, and you want the best out of yourself. You try to bring out the best in your teammates. It's a contagious atmosphere of just winning.
Well, and just watching the highlights every single night, like on MLB Network on Quick Pitch, and we actually talked about it with Mark Kotsay earlier today, because you're going from the Yankees, who are a veteran kind of ball club, and we know they're about hitting home runs, and it's like, well, now you go against the Orioles, and this is just athletes everywhere. I mean, a tremendous amount of athleticism. So talk about being around the club. As we mentioned, they're younger, but it's a supremely athletic group.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of guys. I mean, shoot, Gunnar Henderson, for me, is a guy that every night, day in and day out, is running every ball out. I mean, he could ground out to the pitcher, and he's going to make that play close. He makes some diving plays and throws across the diamond that it's just impressive. Cedric in center doing some things that making some plays that I've never seen and is hot with the bat. I can go around our whole ball club. Jordan Westberg, to me, is probably the most underrated player that we got on our team. And he always finds a way to find a barrel, is a simple man, and just hard-nosed, cares about the game, and all these young guys play the game hard. I mean, Colton Cowser's off to a tremendous start for us too, and it's just, like I said, it's a contagious atmosphere of just talent up and down the lineup, into the bullpen, on the starting staff. Having Corbin Burns lead it is a lot of fun, just to be able to watch his work go. And just the way he takes care of his business. I mean, the expectation for him is a shutout every time, and it's cool to see someone hold themselves to that standard. And I think we all do, but we do it in our own ways. And Corbin certainly is just impressive to watch every night.
I remember the last time I was in Baltimore, probably was like 2018, 2019. Things weren't so great for the city. And everything that I've been reading lately, and I remember on opening day, I was listening to your guys' game on Sirius XM, and the new owner was on. It's kind of like a rebirth going on in Baltimore. I know the Ravens and everything have been good football-wise, but baseball-wise, and I know around Camden Yards, just talk what it's been like to be there and to watch things get back to the way they used to be in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, this is a baseball town. The more we're winning, the more I feel it. It's pretty cool just to be a part of the atmosphere here. I think the fans really enjoyed the celebrations that we did in the dugout. So I'm happy that last year we were able to introduce the bird bath section in left field that I'm surprised in April was sold out. It's cold here and they want to get into the splash zone out there.
Yeah.
And, it's fun. And the fans are so just welcoming and warm, and they love the O's, man. It's awesome. Every anthem as well, just hearing the O brings you chills, and it's just an awesome environment to be in, especially over the weekend. This weekend series, here is going to be packed, and we're packed almost every weekend now. Weekdays we've been getting good crowds, so it's just the more we win, the more the city is just kind of embraced where the team is at and having fun and energized. And when we announced new ownership, the fan base, was energized as well. So, I mean, it's just a snowball that just keeps building. It just keeps rolling down that hill, and I haven't seen it stop yet.
So when you're pitching at Camden Yards, years ago, it was a bandbox. It was miserable to pitch there. Now left field seems so far out there now. It's changed dramatically. I don't think right's really changed much, or right center, but how is pitching at Camden Yards, and how's it pitching ever since it changed the dimensions?
I would say last year I was afraid to pitch to it because I'm thinking, right-handed hitters pull the ball. And then all of a sudden I started throwing a cutter a little bit, getting it off the hands, and found a love for that wall out there. You kind of pitch your game to it because, you have to really get it to even get it down the line. I think the line dimension is still the same, but it jets out pretty quick. And so you kind of change it took me, a couple outings to figure out how to pitch to it and pitch with it. And so now that it's there, and, I figured out how to pitch here, it's been a lot of fun just having that wall there. Austin Hayes makes incredible plays with all that space. You're basically playing another center field out there. Yeah. With how much space you have. It's crazy. You have to have an athletic left fielder to be able to make some plays out there. And I pitched here when that wall was, what it used to be. And you're right. Balls went out very easily. Fly balls that I see here are just casual pop-ups now. And it's a great advantage for our pitching staff, knowing that we have that wall behind us.
And how big is it for you? Because I think, like, when you came to Oakland, the A's, we were winning, right? It was about getting into the postseason. And even through the COVID year, it was game on. And then now you're in that again. Just to be on the team that that every single time you go out, this outing, it's always going to be about the end goal, about going to the playoffs. Your division is absolutely brutal. It's going to be a grind all year. But I think this is the kind of stuff you live for.
Yeah, there's not many times. There's not many times that you get to say you're a part of a fly flying in here. Not many times that you get to play for the AL East champs and try to defend that little title there, and then ultimately our end goal is to win a World Series. And everyone worked extremely hard this offseason for that goal. And there's just a conviction behind the way we play the game that we want to get back there. We will get back there, and that's just the intention. And we just got to take care of business tonight. And we know where we want to be, but we got to focus on today to get there. And that's how we operate in this clubhouse. And it's unique. And I will say this too, like this team is extremely, faithful, and not to get too far into that, but like when you got, 20 of their 26-man roster showing up to chapel and Bible study and those types of things, there's a part of everyone's character here that is truly just like for each other, there for each other, and cares. And to me, that speaks volumes even more than what you see on the field, because we got a bunch of good guys here, and yeah, it is about winning, and we want to win. But at the end of the day, like, we all care about who each other are.
Well, I'll say this. I don't know what it'll be like years from now when everybody's making the big money. But right now, all these really good players, still relatively young. I was bothered by all the preseason Yankees. I'm like, wait a minute. The Orioles won 101 games. The Orioles were the defending. I mean, it bothered me, and I'm not an Oriole fan. Is there still a chip on your guys' shoulder? Like, we're still not getting the respect we should be getting, because it bothered me in spring training all the way in Arizona. I hope it was bothering you guys.
I know it bothered a handful of guys in the clubhouse, but I think there's a majority of us that were like, well, we didn't finish where we wanted to finish last year. And I think that was more the chip on the shoulder than it was everyone counting us, or, most of the press counting us out for the division. So we just kind of rolled that one over our back and said, "Man, we don't really care about that. We want to get back to where we think we should be, and that's in the World Series." And so I feel like that's more of the chip on our shoulder this year than it was maybe the media saying that we're not the division favorites. I don't think we care about being division favorites. I think we just want to get back to the postseason, because losing 3 games, you learn real quick what it's going to take to win postseason ball games, and we're ready to do that. And here we are in April talking about that, right?
Yeah, well, it's a great sign, right? I mean, because that's what it's about. It's you guys know where the end goal is. Of course, before we let you go, we got to talk about your beloved Oregon Ducks.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the 2024 schedule. Is it Purdue, Illinois, or Maryland you're most excited about playing?
I'm actually really excited to see. I'm going to be able to go to some games this year, that are maybe a little bit more Eastern or Central. So I'm excited about that. But man, just the move to the Big Ten is just going to be so interesting and fascinating. And
crazy.
Yeah, the games are just going to be. There is no easy game, even against, you want to say those games are easy against Purdue or Maryland, but I mean, they're just as good as anyone else in the conference at any given point. It's, I'm more concerned about how these kids are going to travel, and, the baseball teams next year, the softball teams, volleyball teams, all these teams, transitioning into the Big Ten and having to go across country for, a week at a time. And, that's where I'm more like curious about how are they going to do that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking all those years you were up in Oregon, everybody was like, man, someday if we can just have the Fighting Illini come to Eugene, it will be.
Yeah, I didn't put that on my bingo card. So,
well, my friend, we still talk about you all the time. You're in our top 3. It's Ray Fosse, you, Liam Hendricks are the guys that have been on A's Cast Live. I mean, we just had our 100th David Force show, as this has now been going on for many, many years, but you have always been so gracious with your time. You're always going to be a fan favorite here. We're always going to wish you luck, and I'm really rooting for you guys. I mean, I'd love to see you guys win a World Series. I know we'll see you out in Oakland later this year, but thank you so much for your time. And once again, you're always going to be a beloved former A, no question about it.
Thank you. Appreciate that. And always appreciative of coming on and spending some time with you guys, being able to just talk about anything and just truly enjoy your guys' company and these talks.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
With an advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and trusted partnership, Comcast Business powers more businesses than anyone. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with internet and security for your small business for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with qualifying internet. Call today. Ends 5/5/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 50 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBill and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
With the sunshine returning, it's time for golf, and more golf at Cinnabar Hills Golf Club. Cinnabar Hills is also your destination for great food with their beautiful renovated restaurant and quality craft beer selection at their full bar. Featuring a grass driving range and 27 championship caliber holes, Cinnabar Hills Golf Club is the best public course in the Bay Area. For more information, go to cinnabarhills.com. That's cinnabarhills.com.
This is Chris Townsend. There are two things that are a must for me: comfort and style. Whether I'm playing golf, going to dinner, I've got to have the right feel. That's why I've partnered with Linksole, and you're going to love Linksole. They have just released their new spring line, new fabrics for their polos, lightweight and perfect for technical performance. Linksole also has new styles for their layers and hoodies with cool prints and seasonal colors. You know what they say in the big leagues: look good, play good. Go to linksole.com. That's linksole.com.
You deserve extra. Extra Mile is where you get it. You don't just deserve breakfast. You deserve extra fresh Mile 1 coffee just the way you like it. You deserve more than a quick bite. You deserve an extra satisfying array of hot foods, extra good snacks, and fountain drinks that help you go the extra mile. Plus, with Extra Mile rewards, you can earn free stuff. Visit Extra Mile at select Chevron and Texaco locations. See program terms and conditions for details.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland, and you'll get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep.
If you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see our friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try the world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
And the underdog Oakland Athletics win their first championship since they were in Philadelphia in 1930.
Hi, I'm Raleigh Fingers, Hall of Famer, three-time World Series champion with the Oakland A's and World Series MVP. Winning takes teamwork, skill, and heart. So when you need an ace for a personal injury lawyer that will win you the game, go with the winning team. Call Venardi Zerata at 833-VZ-FOR-ME or go to vzlawfirm.com. Venardi Serrata, the official injury law firm of the Oakland A's.
Like sports, business is about winning. Championship decisions are business decisions based on what it takes to help your company win. And that's why there's UBO Business Services, specializing in helping you win every day by streamlining workflows, managing documents, and providing the best-in-class office technology. Make your championship decision with UBO Business Services. Visit them at ubeo.com. That's ubeo.com.
If you're looking for the latest green and gold gear for the 2023 season, then look no further than athletics.com/shop for your officially licensed gear. That's athletics.com/shop. The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
You're listening to A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
Well, whenever we send teams abroad to represent our wonderful sport, you want to send a great product. You're trying to grow your game internationally. You're trying to show the world this is why you should love our game of baseball. So we have that this weekend in Mexico City. We have two teams playing in Mexico City this weekend. You want to send your best. Send your best. Send your brightest. Do you know who we're sending?
The Astros, and I forget who they're playing.
It'd be the Astros and the Rockies, ladies and gentlemen, Mexico City.
Wow.
Woo! Man, can't wait to get a ticket to that.
Yikes. I mean,
they're not playing today because they got to get to Mexico City to represent. They're representing all of us.
Well, I don't think that
Rockies just had an amazing comeback win against the Padres. Did you see that?
I didn't, but I know that. But I heard about it.
6 runs in the 8th inning.
The rock pile.
Wow! Watching those highlights, that was like wow. And then Mike Schilt, the new manager of the Friars, after the game, not happy with the questions after the game about some of his decisions. And he started getting into it, and, these guys got so much heart. I'll go to war with I'll go to war with these guys anytime. They work their butts off, yada, yada. I'm like, wow, 14-14, already gripping it, huh? I thought this was that was all Bob Melvin's fault, right? Schilt was going to come in and everything's great. 6 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Coors Field, man, anything can happen. But they weren't all Coors Field shots. They were just ropes all over the place. And after the game, seeing Mike Schilt getting, you got to be, as a manager, ready for that heated media after the Rockies-Padres game at Coors Field.
Yeah.
Oh, really? How many, the camera doesn't show how many writers or who's there, but, I mean, come on, really? How many people are covering Rockies Padres? You got one beat writer covering the Padres. So, who's Mike Schilt getting mad at? He was, these guys work hard. Things just sometimes just don't work out, but I'll go to war with these guys anytime. Yeah, you're 14-14. But we got the Astros and Rockies in Mexico City. You're fired up?
Framber Valdez is back this weekend, I'm pretty sure. So
we got all kinds of news going on. We have JD Martinez will make his Mets debut. Boris guy who signed super late.
Let's see. Jesus Luzardo scratched from his start with elbow discomfort, going to get testing, which means I'm most likely probably going to have some maybe structural damage in there.
That was very disappointing to see on the ticker this morning.
Wade Miley's having Tommy John surgery.
Very disappointing to see on the ticker this morning. Like that ticker now is just like, oh no. But when I saw Jesus Luzardo, I remember interviewing him for the first time going, this kid's got star written all over him. Good-looking kid, had that smile, personality, electric left arm, already had Tommy John surgery. And so we don't know, but just scratch for discomfort in the elbow is never a good sign. And he is still really young. What's he, 26, 27, right around there?
Yeah.
Man, you really hate bringing this up. Great battle this weekend, too, that I know I'm going to have an eye on. Braves and Guardians. Braves 17-6. The Vogt Coats. Stephen Vogt and the Guardians are 18-7. It's always ridiculous in the notes when they put this. A rematch, like it matters. It's a rematch of the 1995 World Series. Where were you in 1995?
It'd be different if it was like it's a rematch of the 2022 World Series.
1995.
Chipper Jones ain't walking through those doors.
Do we really still call it interleague play?
I hear broadcasters call it that still.
But do we reference this? I mean, because in the standings it just says AL National. There's a
yeah. Now that we play a balanced schedule, I don't see why we would. But
man, it's basically /ALNL. That's it. It doesn't say interleague play anymore. Like, look at the standing. I got the notes right here. The standings. No, they don't do the East-West. But if you go to MLB.com, I'll do it right now. You want me to do it right now? I'll do it right now. Go to MLB.com, and you go to the standings, and you got to go to the expanded, and your expanded will show, and I do this every day because I fill out my scorebook. I have the A's record and everything, so every day I go to it. And the A's are 4-9. That's not the expanded. Hold on. The A's are 3-7 against three. They're 2-5 against the East, 3-7 against the Central, 2-1 against the West. AL/NL, not interleague play. AL/NL. The Athletics are 3-3 against the National League. So they don't even call it interleague play on the. Does anybody call it interleague play anymore other than broadcasters who want to keep everything old school?
Yeah, not that I know of. No.
But it's a battle. Where were you in 95?
I would have been before that after that World Series happened, I would have turned 7, right? 7. So yeah, I don't remember who's the pitch? Was it Charlie Nagy? I don't think he's walking through those doors to face Chipper Jones or Albert Bell or
who was the right-hander that Cleveland had that they were throwing who was hot at the time?
Oral Horsheiser?
No, what was his name? No, he may have been more 97.
Oh, that's the 95, the 97 World Series, Indians, Marlins.
They had that right-hander, little stocky right-handed guy that threw gas.
95, their rotation was Nagy, Dennis Martinez, Earl, Mark Clark, Chad, how do you say his last name? Ogia, and Ken Hill.
Go to 97. Who am I thinking of? 97. Stocky right-handed pitcher threw a split through gas.
All right, hold on. 97. Nagy or Earl, Barty, Jared Wright.
Jarrett Wright. That's who it is. Jarrett Wright. So 95 was my senior year at San Jose State.
Oh, Chad OJ. Okay.
Chad OJ?
That's how you say his name.
He was one of the ones that died in the boating accident, right?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Remember that horrific boating accident? A couple Cleveland. See, it
doesn't say that he's.
Well, it wouldn't say it on that.
Well, it usually says when someone passed.
I remember they had a few guys that passed away. But, yeah, that was my last year at San Jose State baseball-wise, not school-wise. Not school-wise.
95.
95 was my last. School-wise, there was a few more years after that. I hung around.
So you were essentially...
I literally was working at KMBR while I was graduating. I had like moved on to my career. I got 2 extra years of scholarship. I just, I had a little fun. I don't know. I these kids who I got to graduate in 4 years and go get a job, man, that's got to have a little fun in life, right? My kids better graduate in 4 years.
Well,
but I was paying for my parents spent nothing on school. I paid for my whole way baseball scholarship. I paid for it all. So my parents couldn't say anything. What were they going to say? I had no problem. I think my last year I had like 2 classes. I was working at KMBR.
You went the full Chris Farley route from Tommy Boy.
Totally. I was still partying, having a good time. What are you in a hurry for? And now here I am all these years later. I got 2 kids going to college at the same time. I'm going to be on them. Oh, you want to join a sorority? That's great. See, that's a good thing. I never got into the Greek system. So my kids can never throw that back on me. My wife was in a sorority. I was never in a fraternity. So I can be like, hey, you better have those grades or I'll pull your ass out of there so fast. It's not easy. I don't know. Cal's not an easy school to go to. I don't know if you heard about that.
I've heard from the grapevine.
Yeah, I'm going to be a stickler. I'm going to be on. I'm going to be on them.
Can't wait to see you cheering. I can't wait to watch you on TV cheering on Cal in the stands.
I'm going to go from Cal hater to Cal investor. I feel like I'm investing.
Can't wait to see you, Roxy, and Bob Melvin.
I will be. Robert Melvin has invited me. Pull the curtain back. Robert Melvin is like, because there's ways for us to go to Cal games, but Robert Melvin's invited me to go watch games on the field with him, Cal football games. Reunited, and it feels so good, Towny and Bob.
See, who says A's and Giants can't get along?
We will have our manager coming up here at 2:30.
Yeah.
Okay, something that we talked to our manager about off the air today. Oh, Kotsay's a beauty, man. Kotsay is a beauty because he is just he's a gamer. Kotsay's a guy that you would no wonder everybody loves him because you would have loved to play with him because he came to play every day. He comes to play every day. And let's just face it, we stink at hitting. With all the positivity, splitting in New York and everything, and Kotz and I kind of had a conversation off the air that you realize if the A's hit at all, the team would really be 500. We would have a whole different show. It would be like blowing people's mind if they actually could hit because they have pitched so well. The A's literally could be 500 or better if they hit a little bit. I'm not saying a lot. If you were just top 20 in runs scored, right? I'm not asking you to be a top 15 team, top 10, top 5. I'm saying like top 20. If you would have scored some runs because these numbers are just Oakland's offense has struggled, scoring 3 or fewer runs in each of its last 7 games, batting 180. We don't score. The pitching has been really good. Even though Alex Wood hasn't been great, and Ross Stripling hasn't, but still, overall, the bullpen, it's been good. If they hit it all, we'd be 500. This show would be completely, it would be like, we're one of the talks of baseball being 500 after everybody buried us before the season even started.
We are very Homer happy, too.
Oh, my God. And it just, things just ring so true, right? And I'm not picking on anybody. David Forst, you know I love you, but David Forst, and it's been this mantra of this front office, ball goes far, team goes far. When you're not spending as much money, they have found that it's easier to find some home runs than complete hitters. Darren Bush, a couple years ago, famously said, we don't care about batting average. Well, you know what? They prove it. The A's are an MLB high 54.1%. Remember, we've gone all positive on this show. New York's awesome. The Kraken. We got, Mason Miller pitching. Ersig's been fabulous. We have done positive. But at some point, there's a reality check that has to happen on the show.
You build people up so you can tear them down.
That's not true, but it is true. All right. So the A's, MLB high 54.1% of its runs via the home run. They haven't scored any runs, and all the runs that they have scored are off home runs. They're not a home run hitting team. What in the hell is going on? You don't score runs, but if you do, you score. Well, because you know what it is? It's solo shots. And it drives me nuts, and I've got to play like I've got to juggle it, right? Because I have to be like, it's awesome that a guy's got 5 home runs. Is it really? Solo shots when you're losing doesn't do much for me. Brent Rooker, his last 8 games is hitting 130, but he'll hit a home run and he'll like boost his slug and he'll boost his OPS and then like hey, look at and you're like, he's hitting 130. Yeah, he hit a 3-run shot at Yankee Stadium. That was good. He hit a home run when guys were on. But I can tell you the majority of the home runs he has hit with the A's have been when the team's losing and been down by 2 runs or more, like that home run that he hit. Now, you could come back on me and you could say, well, they've lost a lot of games. All right, you can hit them in the first inning. I mean, not every game they've been losing. Maybe they wouldn't be losing if he hit early.
I think he's only done it a few times since he's been an A. He's hit it.
There is a trend that the ball goes out once the score's in doubt. That's almost a saying. Ball goes out when the score's in doubt. Little rhyme. Shea Langoliers, 5 home runs. After that, we were talking about that 3 home run game. He could be the A's all-star. Shea Langoliers is hitting 114 the last 13 games. Come on, man.
It's almost like
the bat-to-ball skills is awful.
And hey, in defense, we tore them down and we can build them up. They're not the worst team batting average in baseball. That still belongs to the old White Sox.
It's the way we have taught these kids modern day hitting is just wrong. It goes back to throwing the baseball. Natural velocity versus manufactured velocity, right? Natural power versus manufacturing the swing to try and get it. So many great hitters will tell you, I'm trying to hit the ball hard. Home runs just happen. We left that kind of thinking for we're all trying to launch this thing out of the ballpark. And according to Mark Kotsay, who 17 years in the big leagues, biggest year he ever had striking out, I had it written down. What was it, 89?
Yeah.
That's it. 89 strikeouts was the most he ever had in one season. 89. That's it. And it's something that I think you can talk about with golf too, is do you understand that your hands are connected to this stick, right? Your hands control the barrel, right? Your hands control the barrel. Do you feel the barrel when you swing? In golf, they say, for you people who play golf, do you know where the club head is? When that club's going back, I'm trying to get in the camera here. When the club is going back, do you know where that golf club, do you know where that you have a stick you have a metal stick, a shaft. Do you know where the steel head is when it's when it's going up and around and down? Do you know where it is? Do you feel it? Because if you don't, you're screwed. If you're at the plate and when they say bat to ball skills, when they say the ability to put the barrel on the ball, right? Your hands, Tony Gwynn always said, and there's great videos out there on YouTube. There's one that was really popular about when he was the head coach at San Diego State, where he talked about Tony leading with the knob of the bat to the ball. Because when you lead with the knob of the bat to the ball, what follows? The barrel. Controlling the barrel. Our guys have, by the way, this is a killer bat. The A's gave me this bat years ago. I don't even know. Have I ever shown this on the show? The A's gave me this bat years ago. What did it say? Thank you, Chris Townsend, 2016. It's a killer bat. The A's gave this to me as a gift when I was at 95.7 The Game. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I don't think I'm trying to
I've ever showed that bat. Yeah, this is a cool. I don't know why they gave it to me. 2016. But yes,
that was a long time ago.
That was a long
8 years ago.
So barrel. Our guys have no idea where the barrel is. They swing through so many pitches, but that is the modern day what they've taught, right? Everything is just trying to launch. Alex Rodriguez did a great breakdown of this on Sunday Night Baseball where he was talking about that, going, these young hitters, he started talking about coming down. You're coming down, and you come down, ball goes. Come down, ball goes. You guys are all trying to lift. Ball, boom, boom. Natural power. Do you think Barry Bonds? I mean, I know none of us like Barry Bonds. Giant fans still do, but Barry Bonds is an ass. Barry Bonds is the best player I've ever seen. Barry Bonds, did you see an uppercut? Whack! Barry Bonds, when he was the hitting coach for the Marlins, said he was trying to catch the ball with his bat. He was doing the interview with a friend of the program, Eduardo Perez. And Barry Bonds said what he was trying to do was catch. He was trying to catch the ball with the barrel. Think about that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Versus how many, like J.J. Bleday told us when he was with the Marlins, he got so uppercut heavy because it was everybody's just trying to launch. He got uppercut. I mean, how are you going to hit? How are you going to hit like you may every once in a while run into one, but man, you got to be bang. You got to control that barrel and you got bang. I mean, you hit line drives and certain balls you're going to hit will launch and they will go. Guys who hit home runs, like legit home run hitters, guys that are just strong. They may not make all kinds of but these are guys. Take a guy like the polar bear.
I was just going to use him too.
He's been hitting home runs since he was a child, right? It's just what he does. His swing is what it is. He's never going to be a high contact guy. He just hits bombs, right? Well, you're trying to get guys who aren't polar bear to hit like polar bear. And what's the answer to that? These horrible numbers. When you get a bunch of guys hitting like the polar bear and don't hit like the polar bear, you got props. You cannot have 54.1% of your runs coming from home runs when you're not a home run team. That's a recipe for disaster. So last A in a full season to hit 300 is Josh Donaldson. That's a problem.
2013.
That's a problem. We have lacked ball to contact skill for a long time. Yes, 18 and 19, we hit homers. As David Force said, ball goes far, team goes far, and then they get in the postseason and the ball stops going far.
That's the Yankees.
Yeah, if you can't be an all around, if you can't make contact on a consistent basis when the good pitching happens, you're in trouble, man. But I mean, this is crazy. This is just really, really crazy when you look at these numbers. It's just hard to believe that we only score runs when we hit home runs. I'll go through this lineup today. Tell me who a home run hitter is. Ruiz.
No. He does have two, but no.
Nevin.
No.
Langoliers.
Yes.
Is he really a home run hitter?
For our, I would say for
no,
our.
No, I'm judging this guy. Is this guy a home run guy?
No.
Rooker.
Yes.
Bleday.
No.
Toro.
No.
Hernandez.
No.
Butler.
No.
Schumann.
No.
So you're throwing out a lineup that, according to the numbers, only scores when it hits home runs, and you don't have home run hitters. And even if you do, yeah, that can you can have a bunch of home run guys and be streaky, good pitching and be streaky on offense and win games. And there's no reason for us right now at 10 and 16 to be talking about playoffs, but it's like building your team, man, you got to build guys that hit. Gunnar Henderson, 309. Rushman, 327. O'Hearn, 281. Mountcastle, 316. Westberg, 310. Cowser, 333. These are the guys you're going against today. They hit. They hit home runs and they hit. The A's got to figure out, how do we not strike out? You got 27 outs a game. How do we not strike out a third of those being strikeouts? What are you going to produce with a strikeout other than walking back to the dugout? Once again, you put the ball in play, they might kick it. They might throw the ball away. They might boot it. Something might happen. Just striking out consistently and praying for home runs, if that's an offensive strategy, man. Because even the manager, and that's why I feel for Kotsay, because, it's like Kotsay doesn't control the manager, especially right now. It's like the philosophy, they're trying like hell you get these kids to the big leagues, it's like, man, you got to start making contact. I know for a fact Mark Kotsay is super, super frustrated with all of the strikeouts. And I don't blame him. He wasn't a strikeout guy. When did it become okay to not make contact? Like, how do we view that as okay? How is that good for your team to just strike out and walk back to the bench, praying that at some point a guy hits a home run? And unfortunately, those home runs are coming when the team's down by double digits. A solo home run when you're down 4 home runs, it's good for the back of the baseball card, but in reality, what are you doing for me from a winning standpoint? Does all of that make sense?
Yeah, and when we play Kotsay, I'll have to pull it up and I'll show you, and we could talk about it after. But there's something I saw earlier with one of the, I wouldn't say one of, he is Mr. True, the 3 true outcome guy, Joey Gallo, and how he has 1 home run and all this stuff, but yet he has a higher, and he struck out like 40-something times, but he has a higher WAR than Freddie Freeman. And that's why it shows you WAR is a misleading stat sometimes.
Totally.
I'll have to pull it up and show you.
You know who has the most home runs in baseball?
Team-wise?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the Orioles?
The Orioles.
They also have a good team batting average probably too, though.
Yeah, they're hitting 260. The Orioles are 5th in baseball in batting average. You know who also is good at that? The Atlanta Braves. They're hitting 283 as a team with an 823 OPS. Let's just go.
What's our OPS?
Let's just go average. I'll give you a team. Milwaukee Brewers. They're hitting 264. Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are hitting 261. You got these teams. Then you just go all the way down, and it's us and the White Sox. We're at 201, and they're at 192. We're at the bottom, and it's not even close.
Who are the bottom 4? It's us.
Okay, the Marlins and the Twins are both at 216. 216.
It's 15 points higher than ours.
Yeah. It's us and the White Sox. And you said, who strikeouts, the Red Sox catch us?
Yeah, they passed us.
Yeah, the Red Sox are hitting. But still, the Red Sox, even though Red Sox pass us in strikeouts, they're still hitting 236. There are times you could swallow strikeouts, but when you don't hit and you strike out a ton, it's just like, man, that's why I'm like, get Jacob Wilson up here. He was just in college. He's hitting 400.
423, don't shortchange.
Well, he'd struggle when you get up here. Is he going to struggle worse than 130, 140,
114?
Wow. Because it's fair to say, if we hit it all, we'd be 500. And by the way, 500 be at the top of the division.
Yeah, it's a very when the Astros are, what are they, 9-7-19 now, or whatever they are?
Think about that, A's fans. If the A's hit it all, they could be 500. We could easily make a case through numbers that they could be 500. And right now, leading the division is the Mariners at 13-12, basically 500, because they got the win last night over the Rangers. Rangers are a half game out at 13-13. If the A's had hit it all and were 500, would be a half game out of first place in the West. If they hit at all.
Yeah.
Any bat to ball contact whatsoever. You ready for the skipper?
Let's do it.
Mark Kotsay show every Friday right here on A's Cast Live. Here is Kotz from the manager's office at Camden Yards. For the Mark Kotsay show, brought to you by Nest Bedding. Love where you sleep. Check out their location in the Bay Area, or you go to nestbedding.com for your mattress, your sheets, your pillows, all your bedding needs, nestbedding.com. Mark Kotsay, how are you in Baltimore?
Doing well. We got in a little bit late last night, around 2 a.m, but all's good. We're all recovered, ready to go.
You know, when I think about that series in New York has been a tough place for the Athletics. I know you want to win every game, but when you split against a team like that, who they've gotten out to a pretty good start, how do you feel about that split?
No, I mean, you have to feel good about it. Obviously, going into that series, we'd just gotten swept by the Indians on the first leg of this road trip that we knew was going to be challenging. We had a couple opportunities to try to keep the game close in Cleveland and give ourselves a chance. We ended up, kind of losing that ability in the 7th inning of both those games, I think Saturday and Sunday. So going into New York, having an opportunity, to kind of reset and, Monday's game was a great game. We saw, a good start. And then obviously, from JP Sears with 6 innings and turning it over to Lucas Ursig and Mason Miller, it was really, really fun day in the Bronx and a great way to start the series. The 2 middle games, we had chances. We kept them close enough. But yesterday's game was a nice way to end the series. To come in here into Baltimore with a little momentum, a great outing by Alex Wood, and really a great job by the rest of the bullpen.
When you talk about growth and watching this team get better, what is really the difference that you're seeing in this year versus what you saw in last year's team early?
Well, it's definitely the pitching, Towny. I mean, we haven't hit. I mean, that's a fact. Like, we're maybe second to last in runs scored. I think we've only scored 74 runs this season, yet we have 10 wins. And last year we had 6 wins all of April, and I think we may have scored more runs last year. So the expectation level was that we were going to have, maybe a better offense and score more runs this year. And hopefully that lies ahead of us. Hopefully we can make some adjustments. These young hitters can make some adjustments and do a better job getting on base and scoring runs.
Well, definitely want to get into your pitching, no doubt about it. And you mentioned game 1 of that series. We're watching JP Sears really blossom right in front of our eyes. Following the 32 starts last year, a really solid spring training. First couple starts, maybe not so much, but the last 3, he's been lights out. Talk about how good your lefty has been.
Yeah, no, JP's done a great job. As you talked about, first 3, were a little bit of a challenge. Last 3 have been really good, especially against the Yankees lineup. What he did for 6 innings against that team. He's got another opportunity here in Baltimore to go out and have a great start against a really good hitting team. This growth from JP, it's not something we didn't expect. He's done an unbelievable job in preparing for this season and really working on, getting a changeup that he can throw at any time and any count. And he's done a great job with that pitch. And it's made his fastball that, maybe not is considered elite in terms of velocity, but it's made it jump. And he's getting more swing and miss at the top of the zone because hitters now have to respect the changeup down at the bottom.
Well, yeah, when you go to New York, everybody is playing on the big stage, kind of like Brent Rooker going over the MLB Network last year. Everybody was talking about him this year. I mentioned on my show, when you go over there, they're gonna run your segment. I was even watching it last night on MLB Network. It's like the world now knows about Mason Miller. Just what was that like watching that, his 2 outings in the Bronx?
No, it was great in terms that we got him out there. We got him the opportunity to come in and showcase, his abilities, which, if you're an A's fan, when you saw him come up last year and you saw him as a starter, you knew there was, big time potential for this kid if we kept him healthy. That didn't happen last year. But I really do want to, give a big shout out to our training staff, to our development staff, the way we handled Mason, and then going into the off season, the discussions we had, David and I, and pitching coaches about how we, best utilize Mason Miller and maximize his impact for this ball club. And, and deciding to move him to the back end of the bullpen, I think not only has Mason benefited from it, but we've benefited from it. And, both those games that Mason came in, I believe they were both on the MLB Network, and I couldn't have timed it any better for him to come in last night and get a 4-out save, which was his first 4-out save of the season. And again, we've talked about how I want to use Mason when there's sufficient rest. We're going to use him in multiple ways, multiple innings, or, we're still looking for that first back-to-back opportunity for him. But the biggest thing is we're going to try to keep him healthy and get him 60 appearances and watch this kid just continue to grow.
Yeah, it's breathtaking. We were joking around and release the Kraken. It's so much fun, and got to get a lot of credit too in those 2 wins to Lucas Erceg. Talk about his growth. He was big too.
Lucas has been great. If you watch Lucas's stuff from just pure movement standpoint, you may consider Lucas, a future closer as well, which I think we can utilize both these kids if the opportunity presents itself, and start to, when Mason's not available, use Lucas if he's available. So he's really taken a step forward. He's throwing more strikes. He's coming right after hitters with both his 4-seamer now and his 2-seamer, which we saw last night. That mix is electric, and the slider, the changeup to go with it. He's really come into his own right now.
You talk about the offense, a ton of strikeouts. Striking out was not something you did a whole lot in your career, not scoring a lot of runs. Just what do you do as a manager to try and get this thing going?
Yeah, I think the focus, you can utilize different tools. We can start, sack bunting more and getting guys in position and taking a shot to play for 1. But we all know that playing for 1, isn't the goal. It's to score as many runs as possible. But there are situations now where we're going to have to really assess if we've got this opportunity to score a run or add a run on. We may have to look at playing a little bit more small ball, but at the end of the day, we're going to go out and still be aggressive. We're going to work on, a better approach and limiting the strikeouts. There has to be some adjustability in these swings, and that's what we're really emphasizing in the cage right now.
Well, I'll tell you one guy that's hit, Tyler Nevin. Tyler Nevin just continues to hit a home run in Yankee Stadium, but he is pulled it, hit it the other way. You've had him play a lot of different positions. I know you've known him since he was a little kid. Just talk about since you've signed him and why you're putting him in the lineup every day and how he's producing for you.
Yeah, why we're putting him in the lineup is because he's producing, and his approach, his at-bats are quality at-bats. Even last night in the 8th inning, we had first and second. He hits a 2-hopper to the right side. Rizzo's standing in the right spot. If it was a step left or right, that ball gets into right field. And the approach is just, it's professional. He takes a professional at-bat. He works counts. He knows the strike zone. So, we identified him actually this offseason. When he got moved to Baltimore, we felt good about his bat, and he's definitely much improved on the defensive side. Made a nice catch last night in right field, going back on a ball. Like you said, we've used him in right, we've used him in left, and we've used him at first and third base. So the versatility is nice, but to have a bat in the lineup that goes up and takes a quality at bat every time. And it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I know we like to talk about versatility and people can play a lot of different positions, but that's really hard. It is really hard to be good at multiple positions, especially at the highest level. How much trust do you have to have in your players to okay, I'm going to have him in right today, or I'm going to have this guy third or this guy first? I mean, there's got to be a lot of trust when you say in your players to do that.
There's trust, but there's also a concern about, getting the best bat in the lineup each and every day, right? And so sometimes you have to have guys that you may not, have full confidence in at a position, but that they can play it. And so you're going for, to balance that decision between, do I need defense tonight? Do I need to score runs? And, it is true that it's very hard to be excellent at multiple positions. But I do feel confident that they're good at multiple positions. And when they're swinging the bat well, they're going to be in the lineup.
I remember we talked to you about Ruiz, sending him down and what he needed to work on and then coming back. How pleased are your progress? How pleased are you with his progress since he's come back from Las Vegas?
No, he's done a nice job. I still feel like if you watched the game last night, there's still that swing in there that he's pulling off the baseball and spinning. And, we're working on it daily in the cage. We're working on it during BP to get him more direct and get him, in line. And that's where his success lies. If we can continue to make improvements with him and continue to give him opportunity, I feel confident that this kid can impact our ball club. Again, we're working every day for all of these guys, not just Ruiz, but for Noda, for Brown, for Butler, for Blade, all these young hitters. They need to get, they need to take that next step in growth. They need to cut their strikeouts down. They need to use the other side of the field. They need to hit the ball on the line. Like, those are all things we talk about and that we need to see from this group to continue to have success.
All right, let's end on this. You're in Baltimore. This team's like completely opposite from the Yankees. They are young. They are athletic. They are explosive. What I know you've been preparing probably last night on the plane. What a very long flight, but and this morning. What are you seeing with the start with the Baltimore Orioles?
You described it. These guys can hit. They can hit. They put it in play. They run the bases. They're a good defensive team, and they can pitch. I mean, Corbin Burns is no joke. So, I think for us, we're hopeful to go out and get a good pitching performance, keep this game close, and take advantage of the opportunities that we're going to get. So, again, you're going to see a lot of young, talented hitters in this Orioles lineup, and even for a young group, they're pretty disciplined. So, hopefully we can utilize the bottom of the zone, get the ball on the ground like we've been able to do this season, and continue to turn double plays and continue to make plays defensively.
I mean, you guys turn in double plays. It's unbelievable. 34 double plays. You're on pace for well over 200 double plays on the season.
Let's just keep it going, Towny.
All right, Kots, great stuff. I really think this is a good test. I know it's hard and people are trying to play the schedule game, but you really kind of grow up in the big leagues when you're challenged. And going to Yankee Stadium, now going to Baltimore, obviously the Guardians are off to a great start. I think it's a terrific test and really sets you up for the rest of this month and then going into the next month with the way the schedule goes. So I dig it. Keep playing well. Good stuff.
Thanks, Towny. Appreciate it, man.
The Mark Kotsay Show brought to you by Nest Betting. Love where you sleep. Go to nestbetting.com. Early in Baltimore. Got to get up early to do the Mark Kotsay Show. It's a lot. It is a rough life, man. It is really, really rough. They get paid handsomely, and it's a great job, but it's hard. It's hard. You leave New York. We're sitting here going, yay, man, you got to split. But you're a manager. You're like, man, we're 10-16. I mean, he's competitive. He wants to win. That's not good enough for him. So I like that Kots stays positive. But there's so much, but there you could tell there's the grit there that he expects. And I just know a little bit past beyond that conversation, we kept talking, and the strikeouts bug him. The lack of contact bugs him. And it's tough as a manager just to look at your players and say, stop striking out.
Yeah. Wish it was that easy, right?
Will you just stop striking out? Hit. Object of the game. Put bat, barrel, on ball. Let's go.
Well, we have one guy in the lineup that hits. Well, consistently. I mean, SC hasn't enough of bats, but Tyler Nevin has hit pretty well.
Yep, it's in 284.
Yeah. Home run last night, which wasn't a solo home run, which is nice.
Correct.
I think two of the three home runs the A's have hit recently have not been
how
solo
many
home runs.
ballparks? Because Nick Allen's home run goes out, and how many ballparks?
Let me get it. We were texting about it, but I forget what the numbers were. Let me pull it up from yesterday. It's easy to track on Baseball Savant for that. Allen's was his one out in left field, right?
Yeah.
So, Tyler Nevin's home run was a home run in 15th, so half the ballparks.
Where does it say that?
Right there.
Okay.
Nick Allen's is a home run in 23 of 30 ballparks.
All right. Butler's was 1 of 1.
Yes.
It was 1 of 1. It only would go out at Yankee Stadium.
Like the home run that Jose Trevino hit yesterday was a home run in 2 ballparks, Yankee Stadium and
Fenway. God, because of that the way Fenway down the right field line. Well, as long as it goes out.
Nevin's ball was not a home run at the Coliseum.
Oh, none of these home runs.
Oh, no. Nicky Knox's home run was a home run at the Coliseum.
No way.
Home run. Oakland Coliseum.
No way.
How far did he hit it?
The problem with that game, too, is that a place like the Coliseum, it's really hard to say that because of the swirling winds. You're just purely doing that off feet.
Yes.
On how many feet it went. But we all know if it's the wind that's coming through Mount Davis and the right field stands swirling back around, right? One of Delaire's tricks that he had for NBC for a while that would show us the winds. Like Nicky Knox's ball, at best, hits off the big wall. But then again, they have the ledge, so maybe they're counting the ledge. Our dimensions are ridiculous at the Coliseum.
Yeah. I always look to see if it's a home run there or if it's a home run at the newly redesigned Camden Yards.
Not a home run at the new Camden Yards.
I was looking, and it was I want to say Nick Allen's was not a home run at Camden Yards.
Where was it not a home run?
Nick Allen's home run was not a home run at Chase Field for the Diamondbacks, Camden, Wrigley, Kauffman Stadium, Angel Stadium, Lone Depot Park where the Marlins play, and American Family Field, you know it as Miller Park. Or what was Miller Park. Tyler Nevins, I remember half the league, but was it a home run at Camden Yards? But it was a home run at Camden Yards. How?
Because it's a bandbox to right field.
Oh,
Camden Yards is still
Camden
Yards is still a bandbox from center to right. It's left field it's way back. It's odd now when you watch games there because you're just so used to everything flying out. And now, like, every fly ball hit is an out. It's kind of refreshing. Smart. Because it was not working for them.
Well, the Blue Jays did it too, right? Didn't they redo something with Rogers Center?
They changed it, and they changed the dimension of the outfield wall.
Yeah, I remember people saying, well, that's one of the reasons why Chapman's power numbers went down, so they changed the dimensions.
How is Matt Chapman doing with the Gigantes?
I'm going to see them play tomorrow. So I can tell you.
The old Pirates are in town?
I'll give you a full break. I'm disappointed. I thought it was going to be Jared Jones. He's not pitching until Sunday. You can see old friend Martin Perez pitch.
Is Skeens going to make his debut at the Coliseum? The number 1 overall pick out of LSU?
I'm going to go with no, but it would be smart. He's hitting Chapman's hitting 228. He's slowly progressing.
228 with an OPS under 700. Matt Chapman. There you go.
How many strikeouts? 24 strikeouts and 101 bats. That's actually, it's not a third of the time. That's Almost it's almost a quarter of his bats.
That would be a cool thing in this Pirates series against the A's if the number 1 pick in last year's draft makes his debut, because that is, I would say, a little bit of a possibility. Before he makes his debut in Pittsburgh, which is going to be a massive deal in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
A real soft landing would be to make his debut in Oakland. Am I wrong?
No, you and I discussed this yesterday, and
it was off the air.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
they don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying we talked about it. So like we kind of laid out the parameters of why it would be a good soft landing. Like when Strasburg was called up, his soft landing, he faced the Pirates, who were terrible. We're not as bad as the Pirates were then. But
Jack Leiter recently made his debut. You had it in Detroit, right? Sonny Gray's debut was in Pittsburgh out of the bullpen. You'll start to see that these debuts are not, Grayson Rodriguez, what they did with him, that poor kid, was against the A's in Baltimore. They made a huge deal out of it. They were making T-shirts and everything, and he stunk it up. There is a reason you don't want your top prospect, your top guy, the big gun, to make his debut at home and allow the marketing people to get involved. Remember Grayson Rodriguez? They made all those T-shirts and everything. It is better to keep it away from the marketing department. Don't allow them to get creative, because they will. That's their job, right? Their job is to do interest, and we're technically in the marketing department. But that's what marketing departments do, right? Hey, wait a minute. Top prospect making his debut. How do we benefit off it? Let's do a ticket package. Let's do a giveaway. Let's do the nope. We're going to have him debut in wherever. Well, here, this kid, if you follow baseball, he's got the gymnast girlfriend who's a social media star.
And her season's over now.
And then he's the number 1 pick. I mean, they're a social media darling pair. Everybody knows who these kids are, that like a lot of like my kids know who she is. So they are very popular in the social media world. He's very popular in the baseball world. Where would be a great first start to get away from all of that? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Oakland Alameda Coliseum.
I just don't see them realistically doing it, although they could, because Quinn Priester.
Why don't you see it being realistic?
I just don't think they're going to. I think I don't disagree with anything you said. I just think that they want to save him to pitch in Pittsburgh and make it a big deal, and which I get. But I'm with you. I think having a softer landing, not pitching at home with all the expectations would be better, because he's already dominating AAA. He hasn't given up a run. He has like 34 strikeouts, and he pitched 4 1/3 the other day.
Has he checked all the boxes?
Well, he's still ramping up. Only went 4 1/3.
We've got Super Kid coming up next, right?
Yes. Making sure. Yeah. Supposed to be coming up at 3.
Jacob Wilson next. He's hitting 423.
423, yeah.
423 at Midland. That's all you need to know. He's next right here on A's Cast Live.
Where does one community end and the next begin? Across the railroad tracks? On the other side of the river? Is it between the east side and the west side? At Comerica Bank, we believe it's all one community, and we're all part of it. That's why Comerica has invested over $20 million for affordable housing, financial education, and workforce development in lower-income communities. Because when we raise expectations for everyone, we all rise. Member FDIC, Equal Opportunity Lender.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
This is the place where you can dance like nobody's watching, win like nobody's business, and get away like you mean it. So what are you waiting for? Come join the party. Take that evening out and make it a night you'll never forget. This kind of action can't be beat.
This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our Year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
Streaming from the studio, A's Cast Live continues with Chris Townsend.
All righty, we head to Midland. Are they at home or on the road?
They're at home.
They're at home. Jacob Wilson, #1 pick for the Athletics, joining us once again. The last time we saw him was down in spring training. Want to check in, see how life is in Texas. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? How are you guys doing?
We are doing well. I told you in Arizona we're going to be following you. We're going to be following everything that's going on. And, before we talk about you, let's talk about your team. Midland's off to a really good start. Talk about your guys' start.
Yeah, we're off to a great start, like you said. We're about, I want to say this is our 4th series in so far. We're playing great. We're playing as a team. This group's got a lot of young prospects that this organization should be, looking forward to. And, we're going out there, we're playing our game, and everything's going really well right now. So we're really enjoying this kind of the season so far, and we're just trying to keep going.
Yeah, because it's important that a young core grows together, travels together, eats together, hangs out together, but most importantly, wins together. Sounds like you guys got that feeling.
Oh yeah, we're a really good group on and off the field right now. We do stuff off the field together, on and on the road. Wherever we're at home or on the road, we're always doing stuff together. And when we're on the field, we're putting up good numbers right now. So it's been a good role so far.
We talked about spring training being a huge learning experience for you. You had a really good spring training. It was fun to watch you. Now that you've gotten out to this hot start where you're hitting .423. What do you think in spring really helped you get off to this really good start?
Yeah, I think once you go into spring training, it's a long off season. It was the first off season that I've really had in my career. In college, you're playing 24/7. So, that first off season is a little long, but going into spring training, going into big league camp, you're facing all these talented arms. You're playing around, a bunch of great talent. These big leaguers. So just being able to stand around them and being able to learn from those guys and just trying to, compete with them at the end of the day has been, I think that helped me tremendously to go down into the minor league camp, try keep that role going, keep my body, my swing, my defense ready to go, come out here to Midland and just really kind of do my thing and really just enjoy this game. And, at the end of the day, kind of build relationships in spring training with these teammates that, you'll be playing the entire year with. And, we just have a great group right now, and, everybody's really pushing for each other, to get each other better and, just do well on the field.
Well, I'll tell you what, you were having a blast down at spring training, and you're now hitting .423. These last few months, you got to be having a ball right now.
Oh yeah, it's been fun. It's been a blast. Just me, like I said, my teammates have really kept me in a good spot. I have a great support system back home. It's been pretty awesome to be able to share the the field with these guys.
Well, and we talk so much about your hitting, but something that you were really working on in spring was your defense. So how's everything going defensively for you?
Yeah, everything's going good. I think we kind of took the plan that we had in spring training that I built with, the big league coaches and, brought them down onto the minor league side and really just focus on, some certain stuff. And, I'm feeling good right now, just being able to, go out there, in BP and even before BP, take some ground balls, get my glove work ready, my throws strong before the game even starts, just to, build that confidence up to go in the game and just being able to go out there and try to be a top tier defender, which, that's what I want to be one day. And that's what I'm trying to work for.
So obviously in these spring training games against, big leaguers, the competition got better. What is it like now, the competition now that you're in AA, you move up to AA, what's it like?
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, they're all really good baseball players. Every arm you see, you're not running into a guy that, is like, it's like easy hitting. You go out there, every arm you face is good. Every hitter out there is good. These pitchers got to make good pitches to get these hitters out, and then vice versa for the hitters, to be able to build a plan and go out there and put good swings on, trying to beat these pitchers. So it's been, it's been a blast so far. Like I said, this team has just been, truly a blast to be a part of, and I'm just really enjoying every step of the way that, these guys have, and it's been so fun.
Let's talk about some of your teammates. Colby Thomas is off to a real hot start. Tell me what you've seen with him.
It's the same Colby, man. Last year I had that short month in pro ball. I got to spend that month with him back in Lansing, and he's just a gamer, man. He goes out there, he puts the work in. It shows, how good he is on the field, being able to see what he does off the field and how he prepares himself on a daily basis to go out there and, just be Colby Thomas. And, going into the start of the year, he's off to a hot start yet again. And, it's pretty awesome to watch him do his thing and just being able to, be on his team rather than be on the other team. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's hitting 328. You're hitting 423. I mean, it's a run to the bat rack for the Rockhounds these days.
Yeah. We got some good coaches out here, keeping us in a good spot.
So how's the travel? There's a lot of travel. Like, how's everything going from a standpoint of just, not your hitting, not your defense, just how's everything going outside of that?
Yeah, we've had some, pretty long bus rides, but I think that when you have these bus rides, when you have such a good group like we do, just to be able to share playing cards or playing Mafia on the bus, whatever it is, just being able to build that those friendships with your teammates, it kind of just passes the time by. And honestly, the long bus trips really, like at the start of the year, kind of build friendships. Like this is how you get to know most guys that you may have not have met or talked to too much in spring training. And it's just been, I think the road trips have been great for this team, just to be able to, like I said, build relationships and just kind of get comfortable with each other. Once you get comfortable with each other off the field, on the field, it's just going to be spot on. So I think that the travel has been great. We have a great living situation out here. We're all, living right next to each other. And it's been great to be able to, build relationships with these teammates.
Now, I want you to have an open mind on this, because there was once these dinosaurs that roam the minor leagues who did these bus trips. And they did these long bus trips without phones, without iPads, without. Can you even imagine being on these bus rides and you didn't have your phone?
Yeah, I think we try to stay away from it as much as possible, just to be able to build, like I said, the connections that we have on this team. But it definitely is pretty tough not being able to turn on a movie whenever you get kind of 6-7 hours into these bus rides.
So how's Midland? How's Midland treating you? Like, what are you guys doing on off days, nights? What do you guys got going?
Yeah, it's a great city. I think the atmosphere at the field's pretty awesome. We have a great fan base. A lot of people come out just to support us. It's a small city, as you may know, but on off days we tend to just kind of go out. Some guys go golfing, and some guys like to stay in on their off days just because you get one a week. So it's just kind of whatever your preference is on a daily basis. But it's been great so far. We have plenty places to go out to dinner or do whatever we need to do, and then it's just been a great time so far. We, like I said, the atmosphere is just phenomenal, so I've just really been enjoying it.
Well, I don't know if you remember our conversation from spring training, but I said, look around. This is your future. You're sizing.
I do remember.
I said you're sizing these guys up. I know you're just out of college, but I hope you remember that conversation.
I do.
You keep looking down here, going, he's hitting 423. Because I don't expect you to be down there long. I expect you being next to me doing this show not long from now.
No, that's the plan right there. That's the goal. One day be able to be up there and do those interviews with you. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, continued success. We're going to check in every once in a while. We want to check in early on you and your teammates. But, yeah, it is big that you guys learn together. You're going to fail together, succeed together. But that core because quite a few of you could be up here in the big leagues helping this ball club win. So continued success, my friend, and we'll check in again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Jacob Wilson, the number 1 pick. Yeah, I had that conversation with him. And it was funny. He was laughing, and I was like, hey, you're sizing these guys. They got your job right now. That's your job. And I know when I say it, it makes some people uncomfortable. Well, wait a minute. What about this guy? What about this guy? What about this guy? Well, I don't know who hit like this kid. It's early. Whatever. You drafted him for a reason. This kid has had elite, at least, I even hate saying it. I mean, he can just hit it. But bat to ball skills, that's what he does. He's been elite at that for a long time.
He has a 446 on base percentage.
Dude, do you see what he did in college? And he wasn't playing. I mean, and then he played. It's the competition. Then they play on all these teams outside of their college teams. This kid's been playing high level against high level people for a long time. Like, what do we think he's at what point has he looked overmatched, overwhelmed at all? I'll tell you, I watched him play against the Dodgers. I watched him play against the Guardians. Never once has this kid ever looked overmatched. Does he look like the greatest shortstop in the world? Working on that. But he held his own. I mean, well, you know what? Until he gets overmatched, I'm where I am with this guy. Because let me know when he gets overmatched, because he hasn't been overmatched anywhere.
No, I mean, when you're hitting 423 in Double A and Midland's 12-6, and they're like I said, they're in the A system. They're they are the best team right now. And you mentioned about growing together. You got guys on there like Colby Thomas. You got guys on there like Brendan Malone, who we took earlier. We took in the draft recently. Denzel Clark's there. Daniel Susak's down there. So these guys are learning to come through the minor leagues together and win, just like we saw years prior with Chapman and Olsen and those guys, Pinder. And we're trying to build that next core. And I remember watching him play in spring training while the games were on or watching on other teams' broadcasts. The kid hits, and that's what we need. We need a guy that has contact skills. Who cares if he only has 2 home runs in Double A, but he has a 1,100 OPS.
Don't even get
a 1,100 OPS.
Barrel rate and exit velocity, blah, 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 blah. Give me somebody that hits. What was Pete Rose's exit velocity?
We can't track that, but
what, you didn't? And I'm just bringing up Pete Rose because I saw this interview with him. Let me go over something real quick. Peter Edward Rose. The man had 4,256 hits, the most in baseball history. He played in the most games, 3,562. He had the most plate appearances, 15,890. He had the most at-bats, 14,053. He had a lifetime 303 average. How many runs did Peter Edward Rose score? Oh, he scored 2,165. Ricky's at what? 2,295?
93, something like that, yeah.
So he scored well over 2,000 runs. And you can't tell me what his exit velocity is. MVP, Rookie of the Year. Let's see, how many times was he? Pete Edward Rose was a 3-time World Series champion, a 17-time All-Star, an MVP, a 2-time Gold Glove winner. Talk about versatility. Played outfield, play infield. A World Series MVP, 3-time batting champion, and you can't even tell me what his exit velocity is.
No, another guy I think of more recent, but a guy that didn't really have a lot of power, but was a good hitter, was Ichiro. What was his exit velocity? What was his barrel rate?
It's like something out of Star Wars.
All the guy did was hit. He had over 3,000 hits.
All he did was hit. The best Ichiro, though, is when he'd pound it down onto the plate, boop, and he was gone.
Yeah.
Gone.
Incredible
flew like
speed,
the
too.
wind.
Great base runner.
God, he flew like the wind in that rocket that Dave Niehaus called. It was opening night in Oakland. I can't remember. Who did he throw out? Terrence Long. He threw out somebody. And the great Dave. It's like something out of Star Wars. Korak does it all the time.
It was either that or it was Jermaine Dye. was one of them. It might have been Terrence Long. Either way, it was an incredible throw. It was an incredible throw.
Yeah, dude,
from right
he's
field.
legit. Ichiro was legit.
I don't know.
Ichiro was legit. I was there, his final game in Japan, and he came out. He was a national hero. It was amazing to watch. It's one of the highlights of my career was that trip to Japan in 2019, his final game, and we all waited, and I'm doing the post-game show, and it's early in the morning back here. I'm in the future. I was in the future. Wasn't any of the callers from Australia. I was in the future broadcasting back here. I was a day ahead. And I remember I just kept extending the post game, and next, he came out, and it was like God came out, and everybody just went nuts. Bob Melvin had done the ceremony with him at the Tokyo Dome down below. We didn't even know it was going on. And Ichiro didn't want the ceremony to start till Bob Melvin showed up because they're so close. Man, that was cool. Ichiro, man. Ichiro. Get me Ichiro.
What was I going to say? His 3,000.
What was Rod Carews?
Yeah. Ichiro.
Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs. What was theirs? I don't know.
Well, you remember Ichiro's 3,000 hit as a Marlin at Coors Field?
Was he a Marlin? 3,000 hit?
Yeah.
I would have said he was a Yankee. He was a Marlin.
It was a Marlin at Coors Field.
Oddest 3,000. Where's David Feldman? Top 10 oddest 3,000th hit. Wade Boggs hits a home run as a Ray. Ichiro was Ichiro's probably number one as a Marlin. Ricky Henderson is a Padre.
Yeah.
But Ricky played some years with San Diego. Ricky scored his record run with the Padres, his 3,000th hit with the Padres. I mean, the Marlins and Ichiro's got to be number one. That's like, wow.
Yeah, that's some of the guys that I'm looking at the 3,000 hit list. Like, they're all guys that played for like one team, pretty much. Like, Craig Biggio didn't play for anyone but the Astros.
Well, Willie Mays didn't get it as a Met. He got it as a Giant.
Yeah. That's just some of the guys.
Who did Paul Molitor get it with? Was it a Twin or a Dave Winfield? Dave Winfield, there's an odd one. Dave Winfield got his as a Twin. All these Minnesota guys went back and played for it. You remember that? All these guys from Minnesota, a lot of them around the Minnesota-St. Paul area, they all went back and played at the end of their careers in Minnesota, like Molitor and Winfield. Winfield, I know, got number 3,000 as a Twin.
Molitor got his as a Twin.
That's two. It was either that or as a Blue Jay.
He was a Twin. That's why I went back and did all that to make sure he had 3,000 with the Twins.
Robin Yount got his as a Brewer. Brett got his as a Royal. Gwynn as a Padre. Who did Pete Rose get his 3,000? Was he a Philly?
He was a Red.
He was still.
Oh wait, no. Yeah, it says 3,000 hit was a single when he was with the Reds.
All right, go down that list. Any weird ones?
Pujols was an Angel, but that's not weird.
No. I was about to say Dodger, but no.
Belcher is a Ranger.
Eddie Murray is an Indian.
Okay,
that's kind of.
Ichiro Marlins.
Ichiro at the Marlins right now is the leader in the clubhouse. And Ricky as a Padres, pretty.
I don't know. Wade Boggs is a Ray. It's pretty.
Yeah, but you remember he went to the Rays, and is that it?
Yeah,
that's all we got with 3,000 hits.
Yeah. Remember,
that's not a huge list.
Remember, Clemente got his 3,000 hit in his last game.
That is not a huge list at all.
No, the next closest guy is going to be an Astro, most likely his whole career.
That little guy?
Am I going on a limb saying
that little guy?
Yeah. Am I going on a limb saying that Altuve is going to get to 3,000?
He wasn't drafted. Anybody could have had him. Anybody.
Altuve right now at age 33 has 2,084 career hits. So he needs.
What did he sign for? Like a plane ticket? Like they had to talk. I remember seeing the story. It's is he from Cuba or where's he from?
I think he's from Venezuela.
Venezuela. He had some scout that is legendary down in Latin America. They're like, you got to sign this guy. You got to sign this guy. And they're like, how big is he?
He made $483,000 in 2012.
What did he sign for? I mean, it was nothing. I mean, anyone could have had Jose Altuve.
He was signed. It just doesn't.
No, you got to go to probably Wikipedia.
I know, but it's saying on here he was signed in 2007. So 2007, he was 17.
Yeah, he was signed for nothing. Anyone could have had him. That's where the Astros are not, you can't copy them. Rules have changed. I don't know the rules completely, so you can't quote me on this, but they flooded the international market, especially with pitchers. They went out, instead of saying, let's give Robert Poisson $5 million.
5.1, I think. Is he still even in our organization?
I have no idea. I mean, I've heard of him. And where is Robert Poisson? The Astros went and just gave like a bunch of guys like 40, 70. Don't quote me on the figures, but they went and gave a bunch of dudes under $100,000. And they said, if a couple of them work out, it's a great business process, right? And that's what they did. They just flooded the market. They signed a bunch of guys, and who works out, and it worked out. That the Astros get to 7. Was it 6 or 7? 7?
7 straight ALCS.
7 straight ALCSs because of what they did in the international market. There's no question.
Robert Poisson is now 21. What do you think he's hitting in Stockton?
It's early. 210.
116.
He's hitting 116.
He hit 142 in Stockton last year in 51 games.
How many years in pro ball now?
He's been in the minors for 4 years. He is a career 202 hitter.
How many at bats?
910. Yeah. So
that's the one thing when you sign these guys young, like all of a sudden their at bats and their experience creep up pretty fast. And then everybody at the top level goes, the guy's young because they're looking at the age. It's Jordan Diaz all over again, right? I mean, Jordan Diaz has had a far better career.
Yes.
But it's like Jordan Diaz. Like you look at the amount of at-bats Jordan Diaz has had, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's played a ton of baseball. And it's sad because you don't want to, I'm nothing against Jordan Diaz, but you start saying like, well, how much time are you going to give somebody? I mean, how long can you wait? And you don't want to see Jordan Diaz go somewhere else and blossom into a great hitter. But, I mean, how many at-bats? I mean, I know Melissa Lockhart's loved him to death for all this time, but it's like, at some point you got to hit. Let's see what he's doing in Vegas right now. Jordan Diaz in Las Vegas, Nevada is hitting 219.
It's higher than Poisson.
16 games is hitting 219. You got to remember, man, he's had over 2,000 at-bats.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 23 or 24 or whatever. You've had over 2,000 at-bats, and here you are back at AAA. You were supposed to be competing for the third base job. You're back at AAA hitting 219. It's a bad sign. Doesn't matter. What do we got here? A's, Orioles. Are you ready? We got to go?
Yeah.
A's, Orioles, the start of a 3-game set, Camden Yards. By the way, I forgot to tell everybody we're not starting a bunch of lefties today against Corbin Burns. Why? Because he dominates lefties.
He dominates everyone.
He's really good.
He's pretty good.
And he's going up against Ross Stripling. A's, O's next, right here on A's Cast and the A's Radio Network. This is Chris Townsend. I'm proud to announce our year 2 partnership with Link Soul. They've changed my wardrobe, and they can do the same for you. And right now, their spring collection is fabulous. Natural fabrics and versatile styles, perfect for this time of the year. And they want to introduce their performance line for golf, premium for on-course apparel design, and to keep you cool and dry. Check it all out, linksoul.com. That's linksoul.com. Remember, look good, play good.
Whether it's a midweek trip to the ballpark to catch a game or a weekend of baseball for the family, grab your tickets for an A's game this season. Secure your seats today for all the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Don't miss out on all the things happening this season.
Rose and Seth. It's a drive into center. It's deep, and Straw is back at the track. He will turn and watch it fly.
So grab yours now at athletics.com/tickets. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Hey, Oakland A's fans, step up to the plate with Xfinity Internet. Get the fastest speeds and low-lag streaming for an incredible viewing experience that knocks it out of the park. And you'll have a consistent connection with reduced buffering and freezing, so you can stay in all the action inning after inning. When it's game time, make sure to catch it all with internet that's powerful and reliable. Stream sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity, because it's only live once. Actual speeds vary and not guaranteed. Many factors affect speed. For factors affecting speed, visit xfinity.com/network management.
Unlock offers and receive exclusive in-game features by downloading the MLB Ballpark app for iPhone and Android today. Plus, get the latest information on game times, schedules, and more.
This has been a presentation of the Oakland Athletics.